This is a continuous lesson note on lesson 5.1, identifying similar figures. We actually work on this on March 9th before, and if you are in school, you should have this portion already written down in your notebook. So I hope you have your notebook with you so you can continue the notes. I am just going to add a couple more things to go over with you, and then I'll be assigning you homework. So hopefully today's lesson is going to be short and simple. Now, just to recap, we talked about similar figures have a couple of different characteristics or must-have items. So I have a triangle A, B, and C, and also triangle D, E, and F. In order to be similar figures, you have to have the same shape, and you have to have the same angle measurement, and you're going to have the proportionate side length. So if you have only one component or two components, and if the third one does not meet, then you cannot say they are similar figures. So corresponding angles are marked with different number of lines. So angle measurement A and angle measurement D is going to be corresponding. In other words, they are going to be the same in angle measurement. And the little wave sign indicates that they correspond or they are the same. Angle B and angle E is also the same. Angle C and angle F is also the same. Corresponding sides, you have to remember that you have to start with the corresponding point or vertex whenever you write them in sides or lengthwise. So I have A, B, and then I have a line across to indicate that's the sign. So A, B would correspond or would be equal to DE. Note that I'm not doing ED because they're not going to be starting from the same angle or same vertex. And so forth. I will also have BC would correspond to EF. Side AC will also correspond to DF. So we have those things established, and I said these three little dots will be used later on in geometry and stuff like that. Indicates that as a conclusion, triangle ABC corresponds to triangle DE and F, or similar. Whenever we have something like this, you can actually put these sides into proportion formulas. Okay, so let's see, what should I use? I'm going to use red. Okay, so side lengths are going to be proportionate. So for example, side, you can write it like this, side AD and side DE correspond with side BC and EF, which actually I'm just going to use equal sign, which is going to equal to AC and DF. So their proportion should be equal, and note that all the top ones are only from the left triangle and all the bottom ones are only from the right triangle. So you cannot mix the top and bottom. If you start using one of the sides on the top, then you always have to put that same triangle's side on the same position. Okay, so let's see, how can we identify some of these similar figures? Okay, if you look into your textbook 197, you have a couple of questions to work with. If you don't have the textbook, that is fine. I will go over the questions with you. But if you have the textbook, you may look into your textbook. Now we have three different triangles, and they're asking which rectangle, three different rectangles, and they're asking which rectangle is similar to rectangle A. So I'm not going to really draw and scale, but we have rectangle A, rectangle B, and rectangle C. Okay, so maybe we may be able to say, oh, these two are corresponding or similar because I can tell by their looks, but sometimes they're going to give you shapes that would not be drawn in scale, so you'll have to determine by their sides. So let's say we have side of 3 and 6, 2 and 6, and 2 and 4. Okay, and we have to find out that which of them will be similar to rectangle A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare. Let's do A and B. Okay, I'm going to first look into A and B. So I'm going to put all the A's on the top and all the B's on the bottom. Okay, so A, B on the bottom. First side, I'm going to look into 3. And the second side, I'm going to look into 2. I'm looking on the sides first, or the length. And I am going to look into the width, which is going to be 6 and 6. Okay. Are they proportional? Are they the same? Can you say they are equal? 3 over 2 equals 6 over 6. 6 over 6 is really just 1, right? So is 1 and 3 over 2 the same? Nope, they are not. So they are not proportional. If they're not proportional, you can't say that they are similar. So I'm going to look into A and C. Okay, so same thing. A is going to be on the top, C is going to be on the bottom. Okay, so A in this case is going to be still 3 on the top. C in this case is going to be 2 on the bottom. 6 on the top for the width, 4 on the bottom. Now, from the get-go, it may not look the same, but you have to simplify and see if they are actually going to be the same, which is 3 over 2. So they are actually going to have the same proportion. So you're going to put proportion. Okay, and so A and C are going to be similar. So as a result, rectangle A and rectangle C is similar. If you just put this little wavy sign symbol, I would know that they are similar. Okay. So that's pretty simple. All you have to do for this question, this type of question, is to make sure that corresponding spots are equal. So when you have corresponding spots, for example, the side for 3 and 2, make sure you put them on the same position, top or the bottom. That way, when you're trying to figure out their proportions, it's not going to be something different. So I hope you guys can do that. Your homework actually is going to be from your textbook, and it's going to be from page 198 to 199, 10 through 20. So you are going to work on every single question. This is not just even numbers. You're going to have all of them answered. Okay, I will be putting up the pages so you can work on them. If you still have a question, now a lot of you guys worked on Khan Academy assignments, so you should be able to do it, but if you still have a question, please let me know. I'll be going over this again before you turn in your homework tomorrow, same time. So good luck with it, and hope you have the rest of the notes in your notebook as well, because I will be checking your notebooks as well after we come back. Okay, so thank you, and